Zombies, but this time in Australia. Hey everybody, welcome back to Comic YOUniverse, the only nerd-centric thing you need in your life. And today, welcome back to another episode of Netflix and Beyond. Beyond. Where we basically talk about stuff we find on Netflix or wherever.
And beyond.
Yeah. And today we've got a Netflix movie that came out earlier last week.
Yeah.
And so the movie is called Cargo, which is a zombie movie in Australia. Now, most of you guys know that we've done zombie movies on here before with Ravenous, and we weren't hot on it.
Right.
Not this time around. We actually like feeling it. It's set in Australia, and the story is about a man named Eddie who has lost his wife to this disease, and he himself is infected, and he has 48 hours to find somewhere safe for his daughter to survive.
Yeah, so basically she's maybe a year old at best.
Yeah. And, yeah, what'd you think of this?
And it's starring, what's his name?
Martin Freeman.
Thank you. I liked it. It was pretty unique. It was definitely different. It's not a zombie-heavy movie. They just exist in this world.
Yeah.
They're not really the focal point. Again, it's just more so just trying to find a place safe for his daughter. And along the way, we meet a couple of people. And we're experienced to a couple of unfortunate events as we're going through the movie. And we don't start the movie off right off the bat even understanding exactly what's going on at first. We're just kind of, they're on this houseboat and they're kind of scavenging for things that they need. They come across this family and, Martin's all like,
hey, and then he whips out a gun
and he shows him his gun. He's like, oh, okay, we're going to go.
And the thing is, like, they just got the boat. So we're like a couple weeks, if not months, into this infection. And we don't know how, they don't specify around the world or anything. They just say it's in Australia, which is fine. I mean, I don't mind, when it's not a global pandemic.
Right, of course.
Yeah. And what I like also is that they kind of insinuate that this is a mystical plague. You don't get that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting because you can see how the Aborigines there are dealing with how basically they're setting things right. Basically, they're the ones that have been responsible to kind of fix the problem, if you will. So they're definitely going around killing the zombies, torching their bodies, kind of trying to right the wrongs of man, if you will. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, I like to interrupt, but that's what I like is that at the end of the film, you see that at the end, it's not like it's the original people, it's the natives of Australia who are surviving. It's everyone else who's screwed.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And just like in your typical zombie stories, you do get what's the word I want to look? I don't want to say locals, but how some people deal with it. They, you would think that as a group, we would all band together, stick together, and fight the zombie menace, if you will.
Nope.
No, of course, you get the guys that are out there that are in it for themselves, that are in it to kind of, in his mind, come up with an ingenious way of how to be rich and famous when it's all, when the world tries to revert back to the way it was. We get this guy who's just killing people and killing the zombies and robbing them of their jewelry and their money, and he's like, oh yeah, when the world's set back to the way it needs to be, everyone's going to want the shiny things. And I'm just like, it's you the reason why people are not going to survive the zombie apocalypse.
And I like that in a weird way. It's kind of interesting because it's like everyone, like he says, oh, these natives, they need to be exterminated. It's like, no, you're the intruder, technically speaking.
Right, yeah. So the way he's doing
it... not Ed, we should have specified this. It's not Eddie who does this.
Right.
It's a guy he runs into. I think his name is Vincent.
Yeah, I don't even remember his name. But yeah, no, he runs into this guy who sets up these booby traps. Basically, he traps the Aborigines, the local natives, in these cages, throws meat and blood all over them, so that it attracts, and he plays like music also, that it attracts the zombies to try to get at them in the cages. And then he pulls, he waits 24 hours, comes back the next morning, and he basically shoots the zombies and then robs them of their jewelry, money, whatever they have in their pockets. That's basically his whole big plan. And I'm just like, this is the dumbest idea I think I've ever seen someone in a zombie apocalypse have, because it ain't going back to the way it was. I don't know what you're thinking. But what really had me was I didn't see him getting bit in the beginning of the film. I didn't see the main character getting infected. You know, generally that's not how a zombie movie goes.
Yeah.
The main character, and I was when he was bit so early on, I was just like, what the hell?
And that's like what I like about it is like it's so different because it's like it's dealing with this infection he's got, and it's our main character. You know, there's
Right.
no cure for him.
Right.
It's the main thing of can I save my daughter? You know.
Right, and in the beginning, when his wife is bit, you're put in a situation where it's funny because me and my wife even had this conversation while watching the movie. I told her, I was like, look, if it comes down to am I gonna die or am I gonna be one of those things? I said, you have two options. If you don't have it in your heart to kill me, leave me. You know, I don't want to turn into a monster and kill you or anyone I know, so I'd prefer you to kill me. And then he convinces his wife to get in the car with him, and he breaks the door lock, and they take off, and then he ends up crashing, and he essentially, all intents and purposes, kills his wife
By accident.
by accident. Yeah. So he ends up crashing, and a tree hits her, and then my wife looks at me and goes, "Would you feel guilty?" I was like, "Great. Whatever I answered here, I knew I was going to be in trouble." I was like, "I can't say yes or no," and I bet I was honest. I was like, no, I wouldn't. I would feel bad that I did this, and I would feel bad that this is happening to you, but I wouldn't feel guilty because technically you're already dead. You're dying as it is. I did you a favor.
And he spent the rest of the night on the couch.
No, I did not. But no, she's like, huh, good to know. I was like and then I was like, honey, I just told you to kill me. Like, you wouldn't want the same? She goes, I guess. So anyway, a funny story about it anyway. But no, I really dug it. The only weird thing that I didn't get full closure on was the burying of the head.
From what I understand it, that this is, and again, I could be totally wrong, is that this is something to do with the type of zombies they are, which is an interesting design. It's like there's honey. It looks like almost like honey.
Like pus of honey.
Yeah, coming out of the mouth. And all. It's like that's part of some mythology, of Aboriginal mythology with these types of zombies.
And I guess it also had to do, I was doing some research on it, it has to do with some sort of fracking in the ground causing whatever was deep buried beneath the ground to kind of find its way up. So I thought maybe there was something in it with maybe burying your head too. I don't know. It was interesting though that it was explained that they needed the dark to survive.
Yeah.
But they did roam around in the day too. So I don't know. I mean, you have to give it a second try to kind of maybe fully grasp what types of the mythos, or maybe read up on it, or maybe if I could, since it's a Netflix original, it's probably not on DVD or anything like that. I was hoping maybe for like a behind the scenes or something like that. But it's definitely a movie that I'm more interested in to know a little bit about those types of zombies. And I say if you are a zombie fan, this is definitely something to check out. Because it gives you another take, and anytime you can get an original story from something that's been hammered to death, even though I'm a huge zombie fan, I know you're not the biggest, but whenever we can meet in the middle on a movie like this, it's pretty cool. You know they're doing something right. When someone who loves zombies and someone who's not the biggest fan can go, okay, they got something here, you know? Is it something I wouldn't mind seeing maybe a little more, maybe a sequel or something like that. Just to give us more of the mythos, because that's what the movie left me with, was wanting more of what's actually going on.
Maybe they'll do like a prequel with a different character and kind of talk about where the infection came from.
Right, could be, or maybe take on the character, the Aborigine girl that went on, which at first I wasn't sure if it was a girl or a boy, to be honest with you.
Same.
But what's really cool is like you get to kind of see some of their beliefs, and like when they put the white makeup on, it's supposed to make them invisible.
Yeah, like it blocks their scent.
Right, exactly. So you get to kind of get this little insight to how these people are living, or what these people believe in, and it just makes you crave more. I guess basically what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And in some cases that can be very detrimental to a movie when it's like you want, like for instance, take a show like Lost, where when they give you more questions and answers and they don't answer any of your questions, eventually you get burned out. You're just like, I'm done. This didn't quite do that to me. I was like, okay, I want more. Give me more. Give me more. But then it ended, and I was okay with not.
I almost cried at the ending, to be honest.
Yeah, it also did kind of end a little weird. When he died, I thought that's what they... At first, I was like, they're not going to do that. Then I was like, yeah, they're going to do that. And when she's riding him with the stick, I knew that's what he was getting the stick in the meat for when he saved the piece of meat. I was like, I know that's what they're going to do. And it turned out... So I thought that part was a little wonky. But the end with the perfume and everything, that was really sweet. I'm with you on that. That was pretty great. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, any other thoughts on this? Or?
Go see this. This is, if you are burnt out on zombies, it's nice to breathe some new life in here. Pun intended.
Pun intended, right? Yeah. Yeah. So definitely, if you're a zombie fan, check it out. If you're not a zombie fan, I say check it out too. Only for the fact of good acting, a different take. Gives you an insight to a country and a belief system and an indigenous race that we don't really ever focus on in Hollywood. They don't get a lot of shine in Australia, so it's kind of cool. And also, man, when you're thinking of the harsh lands, I mean, as an American, I know when I think, me and my dumb American brain, sometimes I'm like, do I want to go to Australia? Hell no, everything in Australia wants to kill me. That's the kind of stupid mindset some of us sometimes get. So it's kind of cool to see the outback, if you will, in such this unique setting, this roaming zombies. And again, they bury their head in the sand, so it's kind of almost humorous when you walk up and you just see one with his head, he's looking like a damn ostrich. And it's like, oh, that makes it easier to kill you. That type of thing. So... but what's really kind of cool, there's another little part to the film. Generally when you think of zombies, you think like making noise or shuffling. They're really quiet. Yeah. There's a lot of times where they're just like, it's like creeping up on him, and you're just like, dude. And even like when his wife first saw the first one, and she's like, has to turn on the blinker because she can't make any noise. She doesn't want to alert the zombie. Okay, she like flips on the blinker, and he's like, he sees it, and he like quickly ducks down, and it's still making no noise as it's shuffling across the sand. Yeah. So that sand is a good sound barrier in terms of like footsteps and dragging things. So it's pretty unique in that respect. So yeah, I would give this probably a 3.5 out of 5. I would say, if I was going to give it some sort of a rating. It could almost get a 4 because of the acting. And the ending, again, being so touching. I would even consider that. What about you?
I'm going to give it a solid 4.
Solid 4. Well, there you have it, guys. That's what we think in this episode of Netflix and Beyond. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on the video. Let us know what you guys thought of this film. And
once again, see you once more in the universe.